everybody, get ready to do lesson 8.9 today of Pre-algebra Math Part 1. If you need Part 2, email me here, and if you need any of these other materials and services, email me. 8.9, Graphs of Linear Inequalities. We have a 36-point classwork sheet today in the classroom, and then 20 points of notebook taking students that I check on Fridays. Here are your standards up here, objectives, and teachers. Today's bell work, multiple choice, which order pair is a solution of the linear system here. Okay, students. And then solve the inequality, graph your solution down here as well. Give your students 5-6 minutes for this. Okay. Okay, welcome back for your solutions today of today's bell work. Here is your solution here. -5, 6 is the solution. You just go through and check each one of those in your multiple choices. It would be C for number 1. And then the graph here of this inequality should look like this here. We got a solid circle here because we have a perfect inequality with your equal sign here. T is less than or equal to -4. And it points out. Into our lesson today, our intro. You solve inequalities in one variable. You'll graph inequalities in two variables. For example, here, pottery. How many bowls and vases can you make from a fixed amount of clay? Example 4, which is part 2. You'll see how a linear inequality can be used to answer this question. So how many bowls and vases can you make from a fixed amount? Okay, so into slide number 2. A linear inequality in two variables such as 2x minus 3y is less than 6 is the result of replacing the equal sign in a linear equation with these inequality signs here. Less than, equal, greater than or equal. An ordered pair xy is a solution of a linear inequality if substituting the values of x and y into the inequality produces a true statement. So, students, here is your vocabulary. Define linear inequality in your own words. Define solution of a linear inequality in your own words. 10 points. So, okay, into our first example here for this lesson, 8.9. Checking solutions of a linear inequality. Tell whether the ordered pair is a solution of this inequality here. 2x minus 3y is less than 6. So is this a solution to that inequality? 0, 1. Well, substitute 0 for x, 1 for y. So there's our inequality with substitute in. Is that less than 6? Yep. -3 is less than 6. So 0, 1 is a solution. 4, -2. So we substitute those values into this inequality up here. 2x minus 3y less than 6. We put those in there. Is that less than? 14 is not less than 6. So 4, -2 is not a solution. So that's how you would do it algebraically. Tell whether the ordered pair is a solution of 4x plus y is greater than -1. We have -1, 3. Students, this is yours down here. Check this. See if this is a solution to this inequality here. 2 points, 4 points. Answer sheet. If you need more room, attach a sheet, students. Okay, into our guided practice here to see if this is a solution to that inequality. Is not a solution. We plug in our values here. 4 times -1 plus 3. Is that greater than -1? -1 is not greater than -1, so -1, 3 is not a solution. Students, not your lucky day. Okay, graph of a linear inequality. Define, students, what the graph of a linear inequality is. And then half planes. Define a half plane, students. If you don't know that yet, hang on to it and go back to it through the Okay, the graphs of a linear, here we go, graph of a linear inequality in two variables. is a set of points in the coordinate plane that represent all the inequality solutions. Here's a half plane here. All solutions of 2x minus 3y less than 6 lie on one side of the boundary line of 2x minus 3y equals 6. So here is the line here. It's a dotted line because this is a partial inequality. So it is a dotted line, and they lie on this side over here. 0, 0 will be part of your solution set here. Yep, that's your line. The shaded half plane is the graph of 2x minus 3y is less than 6. The boundary line divides the plane into two half planes. So here's a half plane, here's a half plane. And then here's your boundary line here. Okay, into a graphing of linear inequalities concept slide. Find the equation of the boundary line by replacing the, well, I can't read that now. I can't go backwards, so students, replace the boundary line of this equation. Use a dashed line. Okay, find the equation of the boundary line by replacing the inequality symbol with an equal sign. Graph that line. Graph this equation. Use a dashed line for inequalities here that are incomplete. They don't have a partial equal sign underneath them. And then use a solid line here for a perfect inequality here where you have this partial equality sign. Test a point in one of the half planes to determine whether it is a solution or of the inequalities. You just test the point in here. If the test point is a solution, shade the half plane that contains the point. If not, shade the other half plane. So it's really that simple. Okay, so you could test the origin. The origin is a favorite testing point for inequalities. And that would be the case too. Okay, into our next example here. Example 2, graph a linear inequality. Here's our inequality here. Draw the boundary line, y equals 2x plus 4. So let's just graph this line here, and that would give us a boundary line. Here's our y-intercept, here's our x-intercept. So we use a solid line here because we have a perfect inequality here. There's your boundary line. So test point 0, 0. So we're going to test this here to see if that's part of the solution. So we plug in 0, 0. 0 greater than 0, 2 times 0 plus 4. It's not. So this is not part of the solution. So because 0, 0 is not a solution, shade the other side. So you just shade the other side here like this. This is your solution over here, not on this side of your boundary line. It does not contain 0, 0. Here is a more refined graph of this here. Shade that. This is not part of your solution. Okay, graph the inequality in the coordinate plane. We have this here. Is it going to bring up a coordinate plane here? Well, let's see. I guess not, students. So you're going to have to sketch this. This is yours down here, students. We're going to do this now, the guided practice. Let's sketch it. So 2 points, 4 points. Here's the graph of this. X plus 2y is greater than 6. Here is the graph of it. It is an inequality. It's not a perfect inequality. It's a partial inequality. So there's a dotted line like that. Here's the line here. And we could test 0, 0, and we can show it's not part of the solution. So we shade this half plane here and leave this half plane alone. And that's what we did. We tested that. It's not part of the solution. So we shade the other half plane. And that was 8.9 part 1. Part 2 is available here. Test worksheets, blah, 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 everything. Thank you.